this is just here for all of us to learn. Put your business information, what you're wanting to learn as well from ChatGPT, OpenAI, whether that's a business plan, content plan, coming up with captions for your posts, coming up with social media plan for a couple of months. We want to make sure they're helping you learn that information. So I'm going to share my screen. If I can get my life together today. All right, you all should be able to see housekeeping right here. Because
Yep.
if someone could, okay, I was like, because if someone can let me know, because I cannot see the other screen. So this is how we're wanting you to put your questions into the Q&A box and just have them ready for Kaman and Alycia in the following format. If you feel comfortable sharing your business, what type of audience you have, maybe some adjectives to describe your brand or business, your location, like where you're located, and also what you're wanting to, what's your question for OpenAI? So like an example right here, I need help producing a content plan for a restaurant in Fort Worth, Texas. Our restaurant is lively, a sit-down restaurant open 6 days a week. We specialize in seafood and high-end cocktails. And also, as we're going throughout these things, don't forget to tag us on social. Let other people know that you're learning about AI with GoDaddy and use the hashtag GoDaddy AI as well. And like Alycia said, we are AI enthusiasts, and we're excited to recommend the use of generative AI technology to small business. But please be aware that this technology is still in its early stages, and we also want to make sure that you avoid entering any sensitive information as well. So make sure that you review the output for accuracy too, as it may be incorrect, inaccurate, or out of date. So I love using ChatGPT, and Alycia always reminds us as our manager, she's like, hey, when you get something from Cass or AI, make sure you double, triple check it. But also sometimes AI doesn't put that human affection into it, that kind of tone that has feelings. So maybe you want to add a little bit something personable to make it with more feeling as well in the content. And this AI office hours, this webinar is for demonstration purposes only. It does not represent any affiliation, endorsement, or sponsorship with ChatGPT or OpenAI.
I can run through this really quickly. So we show this at the beginning. Just it's good to take a little note of a little bit more depth on the disclaimer. So, as Jeffrey mentioned, always manually review the content. We can talk a little bit about what hallucination is if you're interested and how AI can hallucinate based on its training set. Ultimately, you're responsible for fact checking and making sure all the claims are accurate within the content that's being produced. And just whether you want to rely on it or not, take a grain of salt with any advice you're getting from AI. With sensitive info, this could be because, for one, anything you enter, especially for free chatbot systems and AI tools, could be used to train the models. And then there's no such thing as a 100% secure system. So if there's ever a data breach in any of these tools and your inputs are made public, would you be okay with that? That's kind of sort of the standard there. As Jeffrey hinted at, AI lacks emotional intelligence. It can generate toxic content or discriminatory content as well. Just adding human touch is something that is being more and more rewarded by the algorithms, SEO, that sort of thing. So it's always important to add a little bit of human touch and expertise to your content. And then just be really careful when it comes to intellectual property. Things that you're generating are coming from existing corpuses of text or images. So there could be copyrighted work, there could be competitor content in there, or proprietary sources. So ultimately, work with your legal advisor and just be aware that that's a possibility, especially for some tools over others. And with all that, we can get into the fun part now of actually demonstrating the positives of how this technology works and how it might help you with some of your business challenges. So again, please start putting any questions. What are the challenges that you're facing with your business? It can be anything from, marketing, business operations, time management. Feel free to throw a curveball at me in Kaman, and we'll do our best to try and figure something out, either with our prompt library, which we'll be demonstrating, or we'll write a prompt on the fly and show you how to run it. So what do we got first, Jeffrey?
I would say let's start with Dawn. Dawn puts in the Q&A box. Dawn at 806 Cozy Homes, a community of furnished rentals designed for business travelers as well as individuals and their pets in needs of stays lasting a month or longer. while visiting Lubbock, Texas. Dawn says she would like to learn how AI can help her organize my day, updating social media forums, and research, and help with daily tasks.
All right, updating forums and doing research. So there are some really interesting prompts, and if y'all probably saw really briefly, I went to smallbusinessprompts.com. And then here we have a number of prompts. We can keep updating this. We've got some quick links at the top for you to learn some of our favorites. We just added this AI cheat sheet. It's a really cool little infographic with some tips that you can print out or keep. We've got them based on business objectives, so we might want to put something in here because it sounds like this is furnished rentals. I would probably put that under service appointments rather than digital products, but I think both could have some interesting prompts. This was the OG section that we had, prompts by category. I feel like business operations might be a good one, and then we're working on getting the last one in here, but we've got some 6 verticals for specific business types. So let's see, cozy homes. I would like to learn how AI can help me organize my day, updating. Okay, let's take a look in business operations and see if there's something in here. We might have to like do a little bit of drafting here, Kaman. So if you got some ideas, I can also chat a little bit. Oh, let me open this up a little bit so it looks right. So we've got a little table of contents here. We've got one for operations planning. Detailed operations plan for business and industry, focus on team members who are in roles. We can definitely come back to this one, Dawn, if you want to specify a little bit more about what your team looks like. Operational efficiency might be a really good one. As an expert process improvement specialist, explain how to conduct a review of current business operations for business, focus on bottlenecks, inefficiencies, or waste, include likely bottlenecks, inefficiencies, and waste, along with specific strategies to solve them. This one sounds okay. I feel like maybe there's some project management and like I see, you know, Dawn, you're hinting at things like updating social and doing research. And so we may want to go back and do something like market positioning or some of our digital marketing prompts. But Kaman, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I've just used it for content, so I don't know about updating social media forums. For research, I think the first thing to what's called priming, where you kind of tell AI who you want them to be. So, for example, say you want to do customer research for pet homes. You'd say, hey, act as an expert as customer research for pet homes and give me the top competitors or give me the top value adds, you know. And just the key is really telling AI, hey, what role should I play? What research expert should I be? And then asking the research question. You could also, and I've had flaky results with this, but you could also, hey, give me your sources. And sometimes AI will provide sources for you, but I've also seen they provide fake sources because you're asking for a source, so they just throw a source at you. So double check that. In terms of helping me organize my day, it's kind of tough. You could ask it. It depends. I mean, I'm assuming you have kind of a to-do list and you're like, hey, what should I work on first? What should I work on second? What should I work on third? And it's hard because AI can't answer that question because he doesn't know your priorities and it doesn't know your time and it doesn't know what your strengths and weaknesses are. So that's kind of personalized. But if you wanted a to-do list, like, hey, what is a typical to-do list for a business owner or something like that, that could be something that AI can really help you with. So
yeah, I'm just going to take a little bit directly from the prompt because I would say like you can even ask your questions directly in here and it will give you answers on how you can use AI across different things. Also recognizing that ChatGPT 3.5 I think has training data up till January of 2022. GPT-4, which you do need to pay for, is definitely higher quality responses and can do more complex, much more complex kind of connections. All right, so let's just try this process improvement one. And then I think we want to add some of the pieces that you were hinting at, Kaman, and I love how you mentioned priming. And we can also, you know, respond to the output and clarify or ask it to regenerate it and fix some things that it might have gotten wrong. For cozy homes, community, rentals designed for business travelers. It's helpful that you have like the audience as well. As in their pets. I love that. That's going to in need of long-term rentals in Lubbock, Texas. All right, so I already kind of read this prompt out. And then I'm guessing in the business processes, we could kind of paste in what I had said about so focus on identifying bottlenecks, inefficiencies, or waste in organizing my day. Just to take your verbatim there a little bit, updating social media forums, research, help with daily tasks. Include likely bottlenecks, inefficiencies, and waste along with specific strategies to solve them. So I'm going to go ahead and run this and just see what happens. All right, so as a process improvement specialist conducting a review of current business operations for Cozy Homes in Lubbock, Texas, involve a systematic analysis of various aspects of the business. All right, so understanding the current operations, begin by gathering a comprehensive understanding of Cozy Homes' current operations, identifying key processes, map the current processes, identifying the bottlenecks. This is actually like outputting more as like a list of advice rather than very specific things. And something that I like to do if you're getting output like this, that doesn't, it feels more like it's giving you more tasks than it's actually solving them. Ask me any clarifying questions is a really great addition to any prompt to be able to kind of give it what it needs to produce a plan. And what you're looking for here is, I'm guessing, sort of like a daily planner. Ask me to produce a daily and weekly planner to achieve these outcomes. Let's see what happens. I don't know. All right. So the first thing it's doing is it's asking me clarifying questions. So we can answer a couple of these. We can answer all of them. But once we send this message, it's going to execute the second part there and produce the daily and weekly prompt. That's generally how I've seen this working before. So you can see it's already asking, like, it would be great if I knew what your daily and weekly objectives are. What are the most priority tasks for you? Team roles and responsibilities. Are there any people that you can delegate to? How are you currently spending your time? What tools and software do you have available? So you don't have to answer all these. Like, there's a lot of questions, but these are all the things that the AI is pulling from its training data, saying, if I could fill in these gaps, I can give you a much better plan. So I'm just going to fill in some things based on what you've told us, Dawn. I don't know if Jeffrey, Dawn has been putting any other information in the chat, but definitely let us know if anything comes up and we'll add it to answer some of these questions. Is my screen big enough, by the way? Let me do that. All right, so daily and weekly objectives, it sounded like customer research and updating social are really helpful. I don't know if Kaman, there's anything else you'd want to call out from what we know already?
Or, I mean, no, I don't think so.
Cool. Objective is to increase rentals, I'm guessing, right? Let's see. I don't know if we want to go into anything else here. Any constraints? We'll just say time. Everybody's constrained by time, right? Is available time in the day. And then I would guess long-term goals are to be positioned as the best long-term rental facility or community, I guess it was, in Lubbock, Texas.
And Dawn said always increase rentals.
Yeah, always increase rentals. Yeah, I mean, everybody needs more time and more sales, right? Like that's pretty much always going to be the thing.
And Dawn also said, "This is such great info. Thank you."
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that it's helpful. So all right, so there you go. You've answered a couple questions. I didn't even answer all of them. I just answered a couple of like the themes that I'm seeing here. And it's like, all right, cool. Now that I know what your priorities are and what your objectives are and your constraints, like I'm going to give you sort of a schedule. And you might be like, I can't do mornings. Like, you know, like you could literally say that. Can't do mornings, oops, or weekends. Maybe that's like a constraint. And so like you can literally follow up with that. Hold a brief team meeting on Monday, do customer research on Tuesday, content creation on Wednesday. And you might just be like, hey, I'd like to switch around Wednesday and Thursday, whatever. And then you can say like output, this is, okay, so it just redid it. I said I can't do mornings or weekends. And it's just reconfigured all of it. Like I said, the ChatGPT version 4 is actually capable of doing so much more. So we recently wrote a prompt I'm super proud of for any of you on the call who have a large staff, like at a restaurant or a retail business, and you're having trouble managing shift schedules. We wrote a prompt. It only works for ChatGPT 4 though, because it's so complex for you to put in all of the shifts that you need, all the availability of your team, and it will actually give you a schedule. And I know that's something that I tried searching for online and couldn't find a prompt for. So we had a prompt engineer write one. So definitely check out smallbusinessprompts.com, subscribe to our Substack, talk about us on social media so that our leaders at GoDaddy can see that the work we're doing here is valuable to y'all. So okay, there you go. And then if I wanted to, I could, this sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't. I'm gonna say output as a table. Sometimes okay, I think this is going to work. All right, it did work today. Sometimes it does weird things like outputs as code, like as Python and stuff, so that you can copy it into like a spreadsheet program or something. But this actually would be able to copy and paste into like Google Sheets or Excel. Yeah, there you go. So you can see how this could be really powerful if you're creating like a content calendar or something and you're wanting to post to different channels. So hopefully this is sparking some new discussions. I don't know if the Q&A has gotten additionally. Yeah.
Someone had asked if you could make the font a little bit larger
Oh yeah.
by chance.
Totally.
And then Ash already answered Michael's question. Do you have to have ChatGPT 4.0 to use the GoDaddy AI prompts?
No.
You don't have to, but
I'm not. I'm using just 3.5 right now. So this is the freely available, and I should have covered this at the beginning, but if you go to just chat.openai.com, you'll be able to create a free account. You just need to verify it with your email and phone number, and it's free. And yeah.
On top of that, they just want to know the difference between the 3.5 and 4.0, and is it worth the $20 a month?
Well, that's a personal choice. So not speaking on behalf of GoDaddy, I am using, like, I personally really love ChatGPT, but I've also played with it a lot. And so I've seen a little bit of the difference. I can't remember what the exact numbers are. Maybe somebody can Google it for me, but ChatGPT 4 has like something like some trillion connections or whatever. And like it was just the amount of, and maybe Kaman, I don't know if you have more information on this, but like the amount of connections that it can make and the amount of training data that it has was significantly higher. And there is a little thingy up here. Let me just see if I can find it. Hold on one moment. I'm just going to stop sharing so I can find this little piece. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I just Googled it, and there's a bunch of articles that kind of do a comparison of 3.5 versus 4. The main thing for me, I don't pay for it because I don't use it enough, but if I was going to, is sometimes ChatGPT 4 has priority. So sometimes when you're doing some prompts, it won't answer because you're kind of lower on the list because you're not a paid customer. Also, you get support. So those were the two things that kind of stood out to me when I was trying to compare the two. But I mean, as a small business owner myself, I would just use as much as 3.5 as I can. And then when you're like, hey, I'm not getting the answers I would need, or I need more clarifications, then I would try 4.0. Try it for a month. It's like, imagine instead of going out to McDonald's for one day, right? Just try it out for a month and say, hey, is it worth it or is it not? So
let's do this. Let's just actually show the difference. So this is that prompt I was telling you about. This is massive, right? Like, look at this thing. That's all one prompt. This is one thing. We're getting click to copy added, by the way. So at some point in the future, we'll just click in here and copy the whole darn thing. But let me just run this in 3.5 and then also run it in 4 so you can see the difference. So I think that this was all, okay, like let's say my business is a jewelry store. Oh my God. You don't have to spell properly either. In Victoria, BC, that's where I am. Our target audience is millennial women. I don't know if it's going to matter, honestly, because we're just trying to jewelry. Okay, act as a consultant specialist.
Alycia, people are saying that they can't see your screen. They say it's black. I'm seeing Cindy and oh, they can see it now.
Oh shoot! I was like, I'm seeing it in Bevy. Okay.
Yeah, I was seeing it too. I just double checked.
I think what screen am I sharing? Don't you ever have that panic where you're like, I'm sharing my Slack? Oh no. I
think there's just a delay. I think there's a delay.
I see. Okay, it's slowly coming up here. All right. Well, the prompt is here. It's available for everybody. Small business prompts. It's under the retail section. And then, okay. So step 1, tell me this will take 3 steps. Then ask me to provide the days and hours the store is open. Ask me to list all employee roles. Oh my gosh, I don't know. This is going to be a lot to run. I'm going to try, for example, these employees. Let's just see what happens when I run this. It's been a hot minute since I've tested it. So that's a massive prompt. Okay, great. This will take 3 steps. Please provide the days and hours that the jewelry store is open. So you would provide your whole, I'm just going to take these examples. Store is open Monday to Friday. Then provide the store's operating hours and please list all employees. So we need 3 cashiers and 2 managers. I'm just going to copy all the examples back in and just see what happens. All right, step 4, now I'll create an optimized schedule for your jewelry store, sorting the employees by the hourly rates. Let me just see if it actually works. So again, I'm using 3.5 right now. Yeah, please provide the employee's name. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and send this in, see what happens. All right, so it's kind of doing a good job here. It's sort of put the people in there, but it's got like manager, cashier. It hasn't actually put people's names in. If I ran this in ChatGPT 4, it will actually put people's names in, and it'll like, it can tell you what the hourly rate is for each person and kind of give you an estimate of the total cost for the week to employ people. So yeah, it's, again, we're always open to feedback too. If there's things that, you know, aren't working for you with our prompts or whatever, this is a great opportunity to chat to us. You can also reply to our Substack notes. That's a great way to get in touch with our team, who's, you know, constantly trying to put out the best like AI education for small business owners. Cool. I was going to run this in GPT-4 as well, just to show the difference. So let me do that. Start a new chat. All right. And then hopefully this is sparking some new ideas. So we'll be ready to take another question shortly here. All right. Just going to paste in the same prompt. I'm going to run it again. It's going to ask me those same questions. I'm just going to copy back. Store is open these hours. Let's see, it's going to say, ask me to list all the employees. So, all right, I have 2 cashiers, 1 manager, and then let's see. But there was an example here. Did I copy the prompt correctly? I wonder if I missed a step here. Okay. Let's give it. Stores open, 2 cashiers, almost done. Please provide each employee's name, hourly rate, and schedule. This one we had, here we go. For example, with these employees. All right, let's see if that works. All right. I hope that it would output as a spreadsheet now. Again, I'm doing this really fast. Like when you put this in, if you were actually putting in the like availabilities, you can copy and paste them from the emails that you're getting. So, okay, now it's finally outputting. It kind of explained itself. And sometimes you'll find ChatGPT does this, or some other AI tools will give you a lot of like preamble. But it's going ahead and filling in. And so I know this is like a big challenge for a lot of businesses, just finding the ways to fill their shifts. People's availability changing all the time. So it's going a little slower. It's definitely thinking through, but the output here is definitely higher quality than what we had in GPT 3.5. Okay, whew, that was a long detour. Jeffrey, do you have another question ready for us? I'm going to go back to 3.5. So it's still what you would all get, similar responses. Awesome. Jeffrey, do we have another question?
One came from Edward Gallagher. What would you look for in a vendor for support in building an interactive app to query and read out a defined subject data set?
Wow, that's a good one. I'm not as close to the engineering side of stuff. I don't know if Kaman, if you have any thoughts on there, but we could definitely ask ChatGPT to answer it for us. That's an interesting one. Let's see if I can find the question. Yeah. Was this in the chat, Jeffrey, or was this in the Q&A?
It was in the chat, and I can pull it for you.
Yeah, for some reason I cannot copy stuff directly from Bevy. Oh wait, maybe I can. I couldn't copy it from the Q&A. All right. What would you look for in a vendor for support in building an interactive app to query and read out a defined subject data set? So, Edward, great question. This sounds like a question for one of our actual AI engineers at GoDaddy. I am a humble marketer. Kaman, I don't know, like, again, if you have any experience with like interactive apps or any of that sort of stuff, but I'm honestly just going to ask ChatGPT at this point.
Yeah, I don't. Sorry, I'm just a user, not a coder.
Totally. But this is the great thing about, this kind of tooling is it's almost like you might have to Google for a long time to get answers, but this is pulling sort of all of the information it has based on its training data set, which may include a lot of internet content. I think it does up until January 2022, which somebody had mentioned in the chat as well. Sometimes you'll get those answers if you're asking for stuff that's more recent. It can't do it. So when selecting a vendor to support you in building an interactive app, here's some important experience things to consider. Obviously, the basics of expertise and technical skill level, industry knowledge. I think it's bringing up some really interesting points too here around like checking their portfolio and seeing if they have positive reviews or anything that's similar to your work based on their previous clients. Knowing it's a user, it's an app, the user experience, data security and privacy. It's just great that it's able to give you a huge list of things to consider. I mean, it's even talking about cultural fit between your organizations. Like, wouldn't necessarily always, I mean, some of this stuff is just intuition when you're hiring agencies or hiring support, but I think it's so great that, you can output this list. And then if I wanted to, I could put this into a interview format. And so I've done this personally for myself in interviews when I've been interviewing folks. Give me interview questions for a social media manager. Like, if you add more content, if you add more variables, you're going to get even better questions. So can you give me some interview questions to hire an agency to do this work? And then it'll basically, it's actually going based on its previous list and creating questions under each one. And then you're welcome to do with this what you want. Cool. Anything else? What else do people want to see? Any other prompts from our library sections that are interesting that folks want to go into? Jeffrey, are there other questions queued up?
I'm looking through right now.
If not, Kaman and I are just going to choose something.
Yeah, I'm looking through right now. No
I mean,
worries.
and just to let you know, some of the great things about ChatGPT is obviously you can do research. You can have it do to-do lists. You saw it do tables. I like it to summarize stuff. Sometimes, there are things you're a business owner, right? You don't really have time to go through all that stuff. So sometimes just copy and paste and just put it in, hey, summarize this for me. And sometimes I like it. Sometimes things are just, it's hard for me to understand. So I'd be like, summarize it like you're telling a 5-year-old, or summarize like you're telling a 10-year-old, or summarize like you're telling a new business owner. Like, those are some of the helpful tools you use. I've used it not just to create content, but to really other things that ChatGPT is really super helpful with as well. So,
Don asked, sorry, excuse my voice. Don says, I use Google Ads. What would be something I could ask AI about help with this forum?
Great. We have a whole digital marketing section coming back up to our library. We actually also, I'm just going to quickly plug, GoDaddy has an awesome AI tool with our website builder that allows you to run ads directly. And there's some really cool stuff coming as well. So keep posted on GoDaddy.ai as well as the small business prompts. All right, this is actually something that came up previously that we need to fix for the future. There's my phone. I don't think we actually have like a very specific prompt for ads. I did see Stacy was in here earlier. Stacy is our managing editor for the blog, and she's super helpful. She's responsible for everything you see here on the prompt library. But I think that'd be something really good to come back with for next week. I don't know, Stacy, Ashley, if in the chat, if you know if there's another section that we'd want to look at, maybe one of the specific verticals. But I'm going to take a look at the digital marketing strategy, and maybe Kaman, we can come up with some ideas here. We do have a lot on like social media, but like nothing very specific. So it sounds like, Jeffrey, was there a specific ad type here? Like display ads or search ads or social media ads or
No.
specific?
Yeah, Don, if you can let us know like what type of ad, and we can pinpoint that as well.
Yeah. And Don, do we know anything about Don's business? Can we add something specific? So this prompt, while you're finding that, act as an expert digital marketing manager, use strategic thinking to work step by step to develop a comprehensive digital marketing strategy. We could say focusing on advertising, right? We can just add a little bit of like clarity.
And Don was the Cozy Homes, a community of furnished rentals.
Right. Okay, perfect. It should be for like rental. Was it? I gotta go find the furnished rentals. Can you help me fill in a couple of the blanks here too, Jeffrey, from her stuff, furnished rentals?
Designed for business travelers, as well as individuals and their pets. And in need of stays lasting a month or longer.
And we already set the target audience. All right, and then it's going to provide SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, what's the R? Relevant and time-based. And then SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats analysis. And then select appropriate digital marketing channels and propose metrics for success. Be analytical, strategic, and customer focused. Sometimes it feels like these qualifiers are like a little bit overboard. I think that any words that you're putting into your prompt, you're ultimately asking AI to like pull from its corpus of text that it knows about. So when you're saying expert, you see this all the time in prompts, like act as an expert, something, some role. It's not always necessary, but it does help sometimes focus the AI to look at specific data from experts or specific, maybe more recent data. So I found it can be really helpful. It's just a little tip for you is to give it a role, a goal, audience, all these things, and definitely come back to our prompt library and check out the cheat sheet that has some really just basic tips that you can keep in mind. I'm just going to open it really quick so you can see it. With this little downloadable thingy, it's a PDF, and then it's got an example sort of prompt that's a format that you could say, I need help with X, act at Y, specializing in your business type. And then it's got a list of a couple tools and some specific tips for text and visual prompts. So definitely check that out. All right, let's go ahead and run this. Any add to this, Kaman, to help make sure we're focusing on ads for Dawn?
No, I mean, it looks great.
All right, let's see what happens. So again, this is the free version of ChatGPT 3.5. It's going ahead and putting a lot of different ideas into here. All right. One thing we don't know about the business though, Dawn, and something that I often ask people to add to their prompts for their businesses is a little bit more about your brand. If there's like something like, if you're fun and funky, say that. If you're like professional and serious, like that will actually change some of the advice that you're getting, and maybe some of the opportunities that ChatGPT or other tools like this will find for you. So, all right. First of all, I love that it's actually defining everything that I just mentioned. I did get it right. It was relevant. And then, so the strengths, and this is where we're seeing finally some hallucination. Like, you didn't say it was high quality, but it's just putting that in there for you. Like, I'm sure it is, but it's making, it's making some assumptions here, and it's making stuff up. And some of it might give you great ideas, some of it might not be great. Yeah, family friendly. Exactly. So you could say
Trustworthy and
focus
management on
on
site.
being family friendly, small local business,
Trustworthy
trustworthy,
and management on site.
on site. Okay, I'm just going to add that. We'll see that way how it changes it later, but just rolling through this a little slower. Threats, opportunities. These are great things to like keep in mind for your business. Again, this prompt was very specific to like a lot of digital marketing, and then we've asked it to go a little bit deeper on like the ads piece. So it's got a little bit more about the different marketing channels that you can activate, including partnering with travel agencies and influencers, which is cool. Developing an email list. I think those are all great ideas. Metrics for success, how you might measure success in your business. And then, what I don't see here at all is ad strategy. I don't know if it just missed it in the prompt. Maybe we need to again, come back and say, hey, we really want to focus on advertising. And maybe it's thinking of advertising as like a broader set of like ads across everything. And it's possible that this is slightly different output than if we hadn't said focus on advertising. So it's just going to go ahead and refine, focusing on family friendly. Just say here, so now it's added the family friendly accommodation. It's added all of the stuff that you've added for your strengths in here. And let's see if there's anything. Focusing on local families, right? So it's added a little bit, showcase family-friendly activities in your content marketing. So it's added a little bit of that that variable that you've added to it. It's making it more unique, more based on your business and what makes you stand out. So again, still not seeing like super hyper-focused ad strategy here, and definitely we're going to take this away as something for us to add to our digital marketing prompts, or possibly just see if it could be in the sales section. I don't know, but hopefully Ashley and Stacey are going to put that one aside either next week or the week after. We'll hopefully have a new prompt for you all. So definitely come back. We're at week 3 now, Jeffrey. This is the 3rd AI office hours of 8.
That's
so we
right.
have more. If somebody wants to throw some links in the chat, subscribe to our Substack, join us for office hours. Okay.
That Substack goes hard.
What can we say here to make it focus more on giving Dawn an ad strategy? What would you put in?
I created a prompt. Let me send it to you. So I put, because it's Google Ad, I said act as an expert Google Ads manager. And then just put, I am a business owner. And then what are the things I should be doing? And then if you throw that in there, it should probably give you like a list specifically for Google Ad specifics.
I love it. Okay, act as an expert Google Ads manager. I'm a business owner of Cozy Homes, a community of furnished rentals designed for business travelers, as well as individuals and their pets that need to stay less than 1 month. What are the things I should be doing? So one thing to recognize is I've been using the same chat like pretty much the whole time. A couple of times I've changed to a new one, but it will remember things that you said previously in your chat. So you don't necessarily have to say all the things new again. So it may just pull some things from what we said earlier about being family friendly. Cool. So these are like kind of the step-by-step things that you should consider to implement and optimize a Google Ads specific campaign. So a search engine marketing campaign. Define your objectives. You might aim to increase bookings, improve occupancy rates, or expand your customer base. There are different types of goals when you're doing advertising. Like, are you looking for impressions only, or are you looking for clicks to your landing page, or are you looking for like actual conversions, like people hit that final checkout page and paid you, or final booking page and booked rental? So that will actually change how a lot of the ad systems will optimize the delivery of your ads for those final objectives. Keyword research. And again, if you're like, I don't know how to do that, like, how do I do keyword research for my business? It'll give you step by step, and you can continually break down. There's actually a really cool tool. Again, just this is my personal recommendation, not GoDaddy's, for goblin.tools. And it ultimately is something very similar to ChatGPT, but it's like a task list. And you give it an objective, and it'll just continually break down the next task. So if you're like, I don't know how to do that one, you just click on it, and it gives you another task list below it of how to get that task accomplished. And you can just infinitely break down tasks into the babyest steps. So I highly recommend that one personally, but we have approval to show you ChatGPT right now. So in the future, if there's other tools you want to see, definitely let us know, and we'll work to get those in our demos. Campaign structure, ad copy, and extensions. Again, if anything like this feels unfamiliar, you can do like what Kaman suggested and explain like 5 what ad copy and campaigns are. And then I'll just wait for that. We'll go back. Geographic targeting, obviously really important if you're looking for people specifically in your area, although you might want to look at where your existing customers are coming from and focus ads on folks coming from other areas, obviously, if they're just staying in Texas for a little while. You can adjust the bid strategies. Again, like there's lots of information on the Google Ads website as well for this kind of stuff. Remarketing, if people are already hitting your site, you can re-engage visitors. Quality score optimization. So there's just a lot of information here about things that you can add. This is why there's a whole person's job usually to run ads. But again, if you're like having like overwhelm looking at a list this large, you can always ask. They even say ads experts. That's really such a great thing about ChatGPT, is a lot of time when you're asking for really complex things, or like especially things like financial or legal advice, it'll always say, please consult a professional. That's the best way to make sure you get good results. So I asked it to explain really, really basically what these things are. I love this. Like, imagine you have a big sign with words on it you want people to read. The words put on the sign are like ad copy. That's what you say to get people interested in what you're offering. For example, if you have a lemonade stand, your ad copy might say, delicious lemonade, try it now. And a campaign is like a big plan to tell people about your lemonade stand. Instead of just one sign, you have many signs with different messages. Each sign is like a part of your campaign. I love this. This is such a simple way of describing it. I would have never thought of like using the lemonade stand. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's really great to understand little things. And I mean, what's cool about ChatGPT, sometimes I go, I don't understand. Can you give me another example? And it'll also give you another example, give you another analogy, which is really cool. Another thing too is going back to what you were saying. If for like say number one was, what was number one?
Define clear objectives, keyword research.
Or keyword research. If you go, hey, you don't know how to do the keyword research, you could actually reference it. Say, hey, for number 2, can you give me a detailed to-do list? And then it'll actually create a detailed to-do list of how to do keyword research for you, which is really cool.
I love that. Let's see if it'll go. Yeah, it remembered for conducting keyword research. So even though I had a middle question, it remembers what number 2 was from earlier. There was no number 2 in this one. So it's like, well, maybe it's in the previous message. It figured it out. Yep. Use Google Keyword Planner, and you can just infinitely break it down. I believe we also have some prompts for SEO specifically. We have a whole section. So if you're interested in SEO, a lot of this will work just as well for ads. Generate targeted SEO keywords. So you can even come back here and say, okay, generate a diverse and targeted list of SEO keywords for, I'm just going to say my business because it knows. Utilize proven keyword, You can go check out the prompt yourself. Okay, there you go. There you are, Don. There's some great primary keywords for you. Long tail keywords. These are awesome things that you might want to use in your content. If you wanted to then create a content calendar, there's a whole library. I know one of our folks who was in our very first office hours went back and used this prompt, and then came last week and was like, thank you, I have a whole year of content now. So knowing we have these keywords, I'm going to let us go to another question right after we run this, Jeffrey, just so you're aware.
Oh, yeah, we're ready.
I know we're running out of time here. So again, I'm not going to read it. You guys can check it out. And then it's going to go ahead and talk about all the content themes, starting with January, winter activities in Lumbik, National Pet Travel Safety Day. I just love this prompt because it gets really, really unique, and it's pulling in all the stuff what you said before about pets and about families. And there you go. There's a whole year of content ideas for you. Cool. All right, next one.
Okay. Where this is from Steve. I just want to make sure I'm getting all of this question. Okay, Steve, it's like a few questions, and he came in late, but Steve, you're great. It's okay. Steve asked, can AI create a virtual avatar character that can pop up in augmented reality via a code you scan on the floor and then interact with a visitor, like an info attendant, help desk, or salesperson?
That sounds awesome. I've never seen anything like that personally, but I feel like it's probably coming. Like you're talking about it like a real like in-person avatar. I've seen video avatars. There's a lot of that, like synesthesia and stuff, where you can actually turn yourself into an AI avatar, which is interesting.
That's really cool.
Steve I did see like virtual AI, avatars at like Comic-Con and stuff like that you can interact with. So I'm sure like it's around the corner, like AR. Now that we have like, Meta's new glasses or whatever, like for augmented reality, like who doesn't want those Ray-Bans, right? Like, I think that would be so cool if like you could just interact with virtual people. But that's just me. I'm an AI optimist. Again, not speaking on behalf of GoDaddy. I did see one Steve also mentioned about, I want to create a salesperson that handles all of my WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram messages. So actually, this is something I'm going to just plug GoDaddy because we actually have a tool for this. So our conversations app, I'm in Canada, y'all. So I unfortunately cannot access this page. So I got to change my thing to US here. If you go to GoDaddy.ai, you can see a lot of what our company is up to. And there's a really great video here. It's 2 minutes long about what's coming from GoDaddy. Definitely check that out if you want like the scoop. Where is my conversations? So speed up customer communication with detailed responses to commonly asked questions. This Conversations app is a place where you can get all of your Facebook messages, web text messages, and emails from customers in one place. And what we've added with our new AI enhancements to our it actually will let you conversations and automatically respond. So it can like expand on your response or clarify your response. There's a little video here that's very short that our team did on this one. I can't remember if this was yours or Emma's, Jeffrey, but I'm not going to play it right now. So definitely come to GoDaddy.ai and check out the Conversations app, Steve, and that might be what you're looking for. Cool. All right, I think we have time for one more. And then, Ashley, if you want to throw some more links in the chat for people so they can sign up for next week. Looks like we've got some stuff already in there.
Oh, and just a tip, as you mentioned, as you kind of use a chat for a really, really long time, the answers do degrade. One tip that I was told is, hey, summarize everything I've talked about in this chat and then copy that summary into a new chat. And then you kind of get a longer chat. So that's another option for someone who's like noticing, hey, like the answers are getting shorter and shorter in my AI, like, but it's because as the longer a chat goes, it doesn't respond as much.
I also don't know if I want to do that because, like, for this one, did I?
Yeah, this was a lot of
different
topics.
A couple different, yeah. I started with the interactive app, so that might be influencing things.
Also, Steve just asked, is there a good video creator for social media posts?
I can't officially recommend one on behalf of GoDaddy, but there are a ton out there. And I don't think we actually included any in our cheat sheet. Let me just see. Oh, let's see. Hold on. I am sharing this one. Okay, cool. I think I just did visual and audio in this cheat sheet, but there are some, we did design, text, and chatbots. So there's nothing in here, but GoDaddy Studio actually does have some AI video creation tools. So I would definitely check that one out. GoDaddy Studio has some free options there. I don't know if Kaman, if you've come across any like AI video tools in your personal experience that you really like. There's just
no, I know Adobe has a free one.
oh yeah.
So they have that one that they're kind of having in beta. Ollie obviously is the one that is really popular. I haven't really played around with it. And yeah, I think GoDaddy's working on some too. So stay in touch with that.
Yeah, I would definitely, there's an online video creator. It does use AI, and it's specifically for social. So definitely GoDaddy Studio is a cool app to check out. Futuretools.io is my personal sort of place where I look to find new AI tools. I just be very careful if you're going to check that website out. Like I can't endorse specifically or verify that all of them are safe to use or anything like that. So just, but if you're interested to look and see what's out there, definitely just do your research first before downloading anything to your computer.
And Steve asked really quick, and the videos take the same type of prompts?
So currently the GoDaddy Studio app, I think it's just using its own AI to like figure out what's in your video and recommend like, themes, transitions, and titles and stuff for the video, or like on like the text on screen. I've only used it a couple times, but I think you just upload your photos and videos, and then it automatically will kind of put together into a beautiful video with music on it and all that sort of stuff. In terms of like prompting and creating a video, there's definitely some tools out there. I don't have a lot of experience with them, but we'll see if we can maybe add some things. That might be another good post for the blog, Stacy, for the future. We've had a lot of questions in the past about what tools are out there for video, for editing video. There's some new awesome things. Like I think there's a plugin for Adobe that like automatically cuts all your clips together. I know I've seen some people at GoDaddy internally making really cool AI art like videos. So we'll see if we can get some stuff added, like a new blog post. Edits, you can do, there's like voice, there's like a podcast filter one that automatically filters out background noise and clarifies the person's voice. Like really amazing stuff. But there are a ton of like video creation tools for AI. I think Runway is one of the ones that I've heard of. Synesthesia is another one. We are just starting to use Lumen 5, which can turn blog posts into videos, but not prompts, not specific prompts. But I'm sure that there's more coming.
Or you could have ChatGPT create a blog post for you and then use a blog post to send to
Yeah, so GPT-4, we do not have time to show this, so come back next week if you want to see DALL-E 3 get demoed. I'm happy to use my account to show you how to use it. I've actually never used it, but what DALL-E 3 is, DALL-E is an AI art generator by OpenAI, and this one actually connects to ChatGPT. So like, for example, you could create a whole children's book with illustrations and the story as part of one prompt, which is super cool. So I might do some playing around with this in advance of next week's. And if any of you come back, you can definitely hold me to my word and we can try it out. We're at time now, so I'm going to close it out. Thank you so much, Kaman, for joining us. Thank you for all attendees for coming with us today and giving us some really great questions. I hope to see you all back next week. Any other final thoughts or questions, Kaman or Jeffrey?
No, it was great, and I learned a lot too here from everyone here, and you guys are helping me become a better ChatGPT user. So love it, and thank you for attending. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Yes, thank you, everyone. And everyone, I just put the sign up for next week in here. I'll do that again. This is for next week, and then once you're already in there, you should get emails about our other events. But you can also go to our chapter page, and I know we are running short on time, but I'm going to drop this in here really quick. If you just give me 1 second. I'm gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen.
Do it.
I know. The pressure's on. Okay.
Yeah, we're here every week until I think the last
you,
one
Ashley.
is December 5th. So
I know. Get your questions in, and come with an open mind and come excited. So thank you both. Give a big, huge shout out to Alycia, Kaman, Ashley, and Stacy. Y'all are all amazing. Thank you so much for today's office hours. And we'll see you all here next time. Same place, different week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.